Hello out there, internet world. It's your bearded brothers, and we are back yet again with yet another sports podcast. I am, of course, the bearded brother, Matt.
My bird's begging for attention.
That's the channel mascot, Loki, and his handler, the bearded brother, Chris. So we now have the Super Bowl matchup set. We'll talk about that later, but it is set. We do know who's going to be there. We'll talk about those games. We'll talk about any injuries that happened, which I don't think there were any big ones, were there?
Not any additional ones, no.
Yeah, not anything additional that I can think of that made me go, ooh, that impacts the Super Bowl. Yeah, nothing major there. I guess the place I'm going to start is what we were just ranting about before we went on the air. Or before we started recording, I should say. We're not really on the air. So, what was I ranting about? Well, I am so glad you asked. Not really. It's been confirmed that Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
At least this year.
At least, this is his first ballot, so he can't be a first ballot Hall of Famer ever again.
Oh, first ballot. I guess, yeah.
He'll probably make it in next year. He should, especially after the backlash this has gotten, because what you have to understand is Bill Belichick has... Let's start here. There are 3 other first ballot Hall of Fame coaches that are currently in the NFL. Well, not in the NFL, but 3 other guys that we can talk about. Jimmy Johnson, 2 rings. Tom Landry, 2 rings. Chuck Noll, 3 rings. Those are guys that went in on the first ballot. You might notice that between them, they have 7 rings. Bill Belichick, between being a coordinator and an assistant coach and a head coach, has 8. It's a travesty that he's not going in on the first ballot. It, to me, and I don't know if Chris is going to agree with me or not, but to me, it demeans the authority and the integrity of the Hall of Fame and its committee and the legacy that they claim they're protecting.
So I'm going to push back on that just a little bit. Mostly because the Hall of Fame itself doesn't actually have... They don't make the decisions. They don't make... The committee does, right? So the Hall of Fame can only do what the committee does, and the people that own the Hall of Fame museum, for example, can't have any say in how the voting is done. So I wouldn't say it demeans them and their integrity. However, I would say it does make the integrity of the individuals involved that are on the committee look bad. But the Hall of Fame itself, I mean, it's really hard to put that completely on them because they don't have that control, and they don't really... They have to stay out of it on purpose, and that's why the committee exists.
Here's the question: who controls the committee? How do we decide who's on that?
The committee is kind of controlled by itself, actually. Even the people that get to be on it is other committee members. So when somebody goes, then the committee decides who gets to get put on the committee. They're kind of inter-controlled. So the Hall doesn't have direct control outside of certain rules that were set up at the original... as the original parting of the 2 came together, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
The bylaws, which...
Yeah, the bylaws.
Now we need to talk about potentially why he was left off. So, we do know that a specific individual who has been named, so we'll name him here, Bill Polian, had discussions with other committee members, and they specifically brought up 2 distinct scandals that rocked the Patriots organization under Bill Belichick. One of them happened in 2015, and it was called Deflategate. There were punishments handed out for that, suspensions, fines. Certain people no longer work in the league because of it. The Patriots equipment manager being one of them.
Yeah.
That happened in 2015. It finished up in like 2016, 2017. We were still talking about it in our very first episodes on this channel 3-4 years ago when we started. But overall, it happened a decade ago.
Yeah.
And then they also talked about Spygate, which happened in 2007. That all finally came out. But it didn't come out. It wasn't even stuff that happened in 2007. It was stuff that happened in 2000. 2 decades ago. And Bill Polian managed to convince at least 10 other people to vote alongside him to keep Belichick out. Now, he came out and said...
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We do have
we don't know who voted for who or how. We gotta make that very clear. Even Bill Polian, we don't know how he voted because he himself came out and said he did vote for Bill, and then later said, I don't know if I voted for Bill. So we don't even know who he voted for.
We're pretty sure he didn't, but we're also pretty sure he's performing some what we call in the military CYA.
Yeah. We don't know who voted where or how. The only people that could out themselves would be themselves, or because I imagine committee members themselves are probably under some type of NDA where they can't out other committee members, right?
Like there's
some type of protections, I imagine.
It's also plausible that the committee doesn't know how the committee voted if everything is done by like maybe a secret ballot.
Yeah, my understanding is this is my understanding from what I've heard, is that they all kind of gather around a round table, more or less, have discussions, and then make votes. But I don't know if the votes at that time when they make the votes are anonymous or if they all kind of see each other raising hands or not. I don't know. That's the part that's unclear still at this point, is if they know who other people voted for or not.
Yeah,
that
because I know for the baseball...
But it is clear that they all kind of gathered around and talked with each other.
I know for the Baseball Hall of Fame, specifically in Cooperstown, they don't. It's all secret ballot. It's all hush-hush.
Yeah.
So the one guy who didn't vote for fucking Ichiro, we'll never know who that was unless they out themselves.
Right. Unless they out themselves. Now, I imagine very likely that it is probably secret ballot. I imagine to keep that so that other committee members can't oust other committee members, right? That's probably part of the protection, right?
I would imagine so.
That would be my guess. And if it's completely truly anonymous, then there's no way to know without the committee members themselves coming out and saying, yeah, I didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
And here's why, right?
Yeah.
I do think it is still a travesty. I do think it speaks poorly. It's one of those things where we just don't know exactly how everything went down, but it does look, quite frankly, bad. It just doesn't look good. I don't have a big enough horse in the race because I've always thought Hall of Fames, while very interesting and cool, I've always predicted since even baseball and so on that like it just feels performative to the way of how it works. Like the committee members I've always wondered like how easy it is to snub people because you have that power, especially as journalists and stuff like that. Like it just feels, and so I've never put a lot of weight into the Hall of Fame stuff in general from any sport because of that. It just like this is a prime example of journalists getting mad because let's be honest, Bill Belichick was never really nice, quote unquote, nice to journalists, right? So, well, fuck it, we can snub him. Fuck you, right? Like, how do you know that's not happening to other people or other athletes or anything like that in any other sport? Like, it's been shown to happen time and time again across multiple sports to the point where I don't hold them that high in regard just because of that. Like,
It's going to happen to somebody like Marshawn Lynch, uh,
oh,
because
100%. Yeah.
he absolutely hated talking to the media, and there are going to
Yeah.
be guys that were just jerks to the media who aren't going to get in right away, even though they deserve it.
If this isn't, I'll put it this way. Um, people thought Robert Kraft was going to get, punished for everything that went on, and he kind of did, right, before he got in the Hall of Fame. Now it's happening to Bill. I promise you it's going to happen to Tom. Tom Brady deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now he won't be. I promise you it
If
won't happen.
he's not a first ballot Hall of
Unless the
Famer,
backlash
then
unless the backlash is so severe for this. Yeah.
if Tom Brady ends up being held out off the first ballot, then that entire committee needs to be exploded and a whole new one needs to be put in, because clearly they don't know dick
Yeah.
about football.
Well, it's not that they don't know dick. It's just they let that power go to their head, right?
And
They
they're
just
playing
do.
politics, and
They're
that
playing politics. Yeah.
politics should have no place in a Hall of Fame committee. Period.
Also, if you look at how old some of them are, like Bill Polian, and you go, "Are you sure you don't just have Alzheimer's, old dude? You sure? You sure you don't have dementia, early onset dementia?
I
You
mean,
can't
we
even remember
bashed
who
that
you
about
voted
certain
for?
owners.
Yeah, you can't even remember who you voted for? Yeah.
Speaking about
Like, it's
owners
just
that are, yeah, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I just have a feeling the only way Tom Brady ends up first ballot is if the backlash for this is so severe that they just like, listen, guys, we can't not put him as first ballot, even if we don't want him to, because if we don't, that's gonna be it. Like, we're probably gonna get ousted at that point,
Well, I think there's going to be some oustings based off of this, because
potentially, if
the
they
Hall
can
of Fame
prove the
itself,
bylaws. Yeah,
the Hall of Fame itself said they're going to investigate the bylaws, and if there was clear indication that they were breached, that people will be stripped of their voting power per the bylaws and
yeah,
the authority given to the hall itself. Because while the
yeah,
committee has the say of who's selected and goes in, the hall
yeah.
itself has the ability to strip the committee if the committee is doing things that it shouldn't. But they have to
Yeah.
prove that they breached bylaws.
They would have to prove it, which are pretty tough to do, to be fair.
Yes, but not
Pretty tough.
impossible.
My hope is that just the threat of it and then them going through with the investigation, even if they don't find anything, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping that it's enough to go, okay, listen, if Tom Brady doesn't become a first ballot, like we have to put him in, because if we don't, it's going to look so bad that we will definitely get stripped at that point.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
everybody would know that he was only being kept out
yeah,
because you guys are being dicks.
yeah,
But
pretty much.
here's the thing. I think it would be harder to keep him out that way, because Tom was never anti-media. Like, he always treated the media pretty good. Therefore,
He
it'd be
did, but he
harder
was
to...
still involved in like the
Yeah,
Deflategate
but it
and
would
some of the
be...
other shit.
That was the excuse, but we all know Bill and the media had
Yeah,
a very
Bill
contentious
and the
relationship.
media never got along. No,
So it was
no.
easier to convince
I,
them to maybe not allow it.
but to be fair on that respect, Robert Kraft was never really bad with the media either.
Nah, yeah.
So, and he still kind of got some of that brunt punishment as well as evidence that he wasn't first ballot as well. So,
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot harder to keep Tom out first ballot than it would be Bill, just because Bill in the media doesn't
maybe
take much
I
to
don't
convince
know.
them. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of
It's just
backlash
that
from
would
this,
be a
though.
that would be a bad precedent to set, because then you could be like, well, Sean Payton doesn't get along with the media that much, so he shouldn't be first ballot
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Like that,
and you're going
which
to
doesn't
start.
make any sense.
Yeah,
I think Sean Payton absolutely deserved to be first ballot, despite the fact that he has less rings, but what he's done with the teams he's had has been extraordinary.
Jesus, if they're keeping Belichick out and Eli Manning goes in, they're gonna burn the hall to the ground.
Wasn't it confirmed that Eli didn't get in?
I haven't
I
heard.
thought that was I thought I heard that was confirmed that he wasn't getting in.
I don't know.
So, again, I don't want to speculate. I'm just going based upon what I remember seeing, and it was very brief and glancing. So,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
haven't
think Eli
announced
made
the
it.
actual who got in out of the class this year yet.
Yeah, I don't think Eli made it from what I've seen, but
Yeah,
at least that's the speculation from everybody that's done reporting on it. Which I'm not shocked. I mean, Eli, I think will go in, but I don't think he deserves first ballot. No
oh
offense to
no,
Eli.
I'm not sure he 100% deserves to go in, but he probably will, just off the strength of
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Super
I think he
Bowls.
probably will. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had, let's be honest, he did have like 2 to 3 really, really good seasons.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Outside of that, he was good, but never
He
stellar.
was good.
He
Yeah.
was good.
He wasn't as good as Peyton, no offense. He just wasn't.
He just wasn't.
Um,
Sorry.
but those couple of years were real where he was real red hot though. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe you could compare them at
Yeah.
that during that time
Yeah.
period. But that was about it.
All right. We want to talk about dumb ownership and coaching hires?
I mean, I guess we can talk about that one first out of all of them.
Let's do it.
Um,
Because there's two of them where you're just like, what in the name of.
well, one's definitely worse than the other, in my
One
opinion.
is way worse than the other. Yeah.
Depending on how, I guess it depends on how much you say worse. I think Yes Man is worse personally, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so let's talk about it. The Bills have hired their head coach, and they hired their offensive coordinator Jim Brady, to
Joe
be
Brady.
their Joe Brady. Sorry, I knew it started with a J. Joe Brady to be their head coach now, so they just promoted him. Um,
No relation to Tom, as far as I know.
no, none that I can find. If there is, it'd be a very, very loose connection at
Yeah.
best. So that's a choice, but like I was saying before we started the podcast, it feels like a yes man situation.
D.
It feels like the owner and GM knew exactly what they wanted, and Joe Brady was already there, and he was already saying yes. So they went, "Fuck it, you'll be the head coach, no changes," because that's what's going to happen. No changes. That's
Exactly. You're going to see the exact same thing. Josh Allen's going to have to do everything,
yep.
and nothing's going to get better.
No, not unless they somehow draft better, which under this GM I have
Zero
very
faith.
big doubts for.
Zero faith. None.
Absolutely zero.
So
Yeah.
I give this hiring a D.
I mean, I would give it a D minus. Like, nothing against Joe Brady, but like, I think he has chances to do better in different organizations. This organization, God no. This is not. We needed changes. You fired Sean McDermott because you needed changes. Then you just hire your offensive coordinator, which means you're not going to have any changes. Like, because you know that if they bring in another OC, which they will, he's not going to do anything.
Nope.
All the calling, everything's going to go through Joe Brady.
Yep. Pegula is trying to be the new Jerry Jones.
Yeah, like nothing's going to change.
Nothing's
Just
going to change.
for if you're a fan of the Bills, you're going to have to look at this and be honest with yourself. You're going to have the exact same team that you had this year, next year. Nothing's going to
Sorry,
change.
Bills Mafia. It's true.
You're just gonna have middling games where you win when Josh Allen looks good and you lose when he's having a slightly off game. It's just the way it's gonna be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Unless
Like
you get like a primo number one wide receiver that can make up for some of it, I I don't know what you can do unless your defense takes a huge step forward and starts stopping people.
yeah, I don't know,
It's bad.
but they still have the same defensive coordinator, so unless they get a new one of that, I don't see that changing
I don't
either.
see that changing either. So nothing is going to change. Everything's going to be the same. You're still going to make the playoffs, and then you're still going to lose in the divisional round.
So, with that said, let's move on to the other yikes situation. Um, the Browns find their head coach, and their head coach is Todd Monken.
Who was their offensive coordinator in 2019 when they won 6 games?
Oh boy, that's
Choice.
that's a choice. Now, to be fair to the Browns, and this is the only reason I'll be fair to the Browns, nobody wanted that job. So they just had to fire somebody who would be willing to
because the
take it.
Browns kept like, here's this homework to do. Here's an essay to fill out.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted to put up with that to coach the Browns. You can
exactly.
do that
That's
if you're
what I'm
the
saying,
Ravens or the Steelers or the
I just couldn't.
Niners or
I just couldn't believe like how much work they were telling people. Well, they were just they were just pushing so much crap, and like it's just they're the Browns. You're not.
Yeah, if you have a history of winning, even if you've had a few down years, like you might be able to get away with that because it's a storied franchise that you could resurrect.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
the Jets might be able to get away with some of that because they have a history dating all the way back
Maybe
to
for the
Super Bowl
history,
three.
but even then, it'd be pretty tough. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but you've got that shot there. You know, the Packers could get away with something like that.
oh, the Packers definitely could.
Even the Bears when they were pretty bad,
They were red hot in the '80s, so yeah.
could have gotten away with it. So you're the Browns. You haven't done diddly squat since you came back to the league in
Yeah.
99, 2000.
I don't even remember when.
Something
I think it was
like that. It was.
I thought it was the late '90s, but I can't remember.
You've been terrible, except for
Yep.
brief bursts where you would make playoffs and make a little noise.
And then immediately fail.
And then you immediately fail. 100%. In 2019, he had Baker Mayfield, who's now killing it with the Buccaneers. You had Odell Beckham Jr. You had Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
You had Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get more than 6 wins?
It's going to be also really funny if Kevin Stefanski goes to Atlanta and manages to make that team really, really good, just to prove to the point of how bad the Browns were.
Yes. And I get it. You have a Pro Bowl quarterback, but I don't really think it matters because he's replacing somebody who was injured, and I have no idea how that was chosen.
I was going to say, I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you were to ask me if Shador should be a Pro Bowl quarterback over Joe Burrow, I'd fucking tell you no. In what world does Joe Burrow not be the Pro Bowl candidate in that sake? It makes no sense. Like, even if you look at the numbers and you look at, like, yeah, Joe Burrow was out for most of the season, but even then, he looked better than that in the 3 games he played. Like, come on.
Yes, I don't disagree with you.
It's just ridiculous. Like, I saw that now. Like, the minute I saw that, I went, yeah, Pro Bowl's a joke. Like, we've all known it. This is pretty obvious evidence at this point.
Now.
It's no longer relevant to anything anymore.
Nope, 100% isn't.
No offense to Shador. Like, he played fine, but to say that he earned a spot in the Pro Bowl, if we were talking about this like 10, 15 years ago, we'd all be laughing and saying, fuck no.
Yeah, 100%. Back when the Pro Bowl was actually halfway legit. But
yeah,
it's become a joke. It means nothing because it's voted on apparently by fans. I'm sure he gets in based off of name recognition alone.
Probably.
And that's it. I would be much happier with an award that was voted on by my peers because I think All Pro is voted on by the NFL players themselves, correct?
Yeah.
The All Pro teams. So
the All Pro teams.
Those are I think what I would be looking at wanting to make. What do my peers think of me?
Yeah, I think that becomes far more important than the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Pro Bowl's a joke.
Yeah,
I hate to say that because I have fought to try to keep it around, but it's becoming more and more evident that All-Star games and Pro Bowls and things of that nature are just useless.
They're dying.
They're dying.
And they changed things like the Pro Bowl isn't even really a Pro Bowl anymore. It's like a
flag football skills competition.
It's a skills competition with flag football involved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Like, I used to watch the Pro Bowl legitimately. I used to watch the Pro Bowl on occasion out of fun. I just like, it's kind of silly, kind of fun. All right, let's just see what happens if you manage to throw all these players on one team. I'm just kind of curious. And to now be this, like, I literally watched the very first one they did and went, this is fucking dumb. And I'm not ever watching it again.
Like, I feel bad because, like, the NBA All-Star Game used to be an event. It was a big deal. And, like, some of the competitions, like the dunk contest was always a big thing back in the day when Jordan would go at it with fucking the human highlight reel, Dominique Wilkins. And now it's a joke.
They
The
also did
big
the
names
three.
just
What was it? The 3-point competition as well.
yep. And Bird used
I
to
do those.
win.
Bird
Bird
used
used
to
to
win those all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, those
So
were fun as hell to watch.
yeah, and now you've got this stupid little tournament thing that they have, which I think is dumb. I hate it.
Yeah,
It's useless. Um, and the dunk contest is boring because they don't even the big stars who you want to see in the dunk contest don't go.
no, yeah,
You know, they stop participating, and then the guys on the court, there's no defense being played. Everybody just
yeah,
stands around and tries to get off their best moves, and it's just like,
pretty much.
why am I fucking watching this?
It's just so sad to see that kind of stuff happen because like it's so funny because they all I'm gonna argue all sports pretty much does this at this point. They all tried to change their all-star games or their Pro Bowls or whatever they want to call it. They all try to change it because well our viewership on that event is going down, so we're gonna change it up to try to make it more interesting. And I gotta know, like they haven't announced it, but I gotta like I'm curious. Did it reinvigorate your viewership or did it drop even more? Because I bet you it's probably the latter.
I bet you it's the latter. Like, honestly, pull the plug. Just send these guys on vacation somewhere and take a
Yeah.
film. Do you know what? Take a film crew with them. I'd rather watch the football players go to Hawaii and play beach volleyball against each other because that, just the banter alone would be funny.
Just do something silly. Yeah, just don't even
Don't even make it
make it
football
something
related.
else.
Yeah, make it something
Yeah.
else. Send these guys on a little vacation. Send them somewhere else. Like, hockey doesn't need an all-star game. Nobody goes to watch that. It's boring. Nobody cares. The skills competitions are okay with hockey. The long distance shot, the taking the targets around the goal shot,
Oh, around the goal. Yeah, yeah.
this who's the fastest skater, and I admit I do like the breakaway competition when they do the solo breakaway against a celebrity
Oh,
goalie.
yeah.
That is kind of funny because they're always something weird like 1 year Luke Hughes came out and summoned mini Luke Hughes. Like he came out as a magician and he did a trick where a little like kid came out wearing Luke Hughes' gear and fucking did the breakaway for him. Kirill Kaprizov honored Alex Ovechkin in his. Did Ovechkin's like pregame ritual and everything. Even did his celly with the stick afterwards, like waving off the heat.
Right.
So that's kind of cute. Okay, fine. But you don't need a game. I'd much rather watch
Yeah.
these guys do something else. Fuck around, prank each other. For God's
For
sakes,
sure.
hockey people are great at that.
Yeah. No, I for sure agree.
What you watching?
Sorry, I'm being distracted.
I can tell.
I'm watching a Counter-Strike tournament and my favorite team is playing and they're in a clutch situation 1v2 and I'm just kind of I've now been just zoned in because I'm curious to see how this goes because they're down 6-9. And so I'm seeing how it goes so far.
Not
Made it
good.
a 1v1. Well, they made it a 1v1 now, so I'm curious to see how it ends. Oh, he's gonna pull it off. Oh, they took out. They won the clutch. Nice.
Nice.
Anyways, sorry about that.
You're
Back to
fine.
what we were talking about.
You love your
Um,
Counter Strike. I'm not gonna say
I
otherwise.
do.
You're a
It's
Counter
one of the
Strike
reasons I want
fanatic.
to It's one of the reasons I want to upgrade my computer so I can get back into playing again. Because right now I get below 100 FPS, and in Counter Strike that is pretty
Death.
dog shit.
Yeah, that's death.
Yeah. If you're not getting closer to 200 FPS, you're just at a major disadvantage. Not that you can't play with that. You can if you want to be casual as fuck. But I like to play competitively because that's just my nature.
Yep.
So we'll see. Now they made it 7-9. It's first to 13, by the way. So
Okay. Well, good luck to him.
we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, back to actual football stuff. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. All the Pro Bowl stuff and everything mostly needs to go away.
Yeah, just
Change it to something else in some other form because I think trying to retain it the way it is, even changing it slightly with the skills competition and stuff, is just it's not interesting to enough people.
no,
It just
it's not
isn't.
interesting to enough people and nobody cares. I'd rather see them
Yeah.
fucking make them sing karaoke. Make them put on a play.
They can do something silly, yeah.
Yeah, make it do something that's completely out of the wheelhouse because Then you might
See
draw
who's the
in.
funniest. Make them go up on stage and do a fucking comedy routine,
There you go.
or roast each other or something. You know?
Yeah. Let's just have them roast each other. For fuck's sake, that would be funny.
Yeah, yeah. I think there are better things they can do, and they just don't.
And they should vote
Um,
on. They should. You know what? You should put them all in a room and have them vote on meaningless, stupid awards. Who's the best trash talker?
who's the most well dressed?
Who's the most well dressed? Who's the goofiest dressed?
Yeah. Uh,
Who's
whoever
the
that guy is
who is
that
the
refuses to wear
stinkiest?
shoes.
Who's the stinkiest?
Who's the freakiest?
Yeah, just stuff like that. Stuff that's completely whacked out. I'd watch that.
I mean, depending on how they did it, yeah, it could be funny. Anyways, let's talk about some more hirings because there were some more hirings that did
There
happen.
were, there were, there were. Sorry,
Let's
we got
talk
off topic.
about. No, no, you're good. Let's talk about the Chargers because they have officially hired as their offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel. Something we speculated might happen, but we weren't sure.
Oh, by
Now
the
it is
way,
confirmed.
I give the Browns an F.
Oh yeah, I mean the Browns is definitely an F, but that's just because they're the Browns.
Yes.
Um,
Anyway, Mike McDaniel, I give that an A.
that's definitely an A, if not an A plus. I
Yeah.
don't see how this could go poorly unless, for whatever reason, Harbaugh doesn't give McDaniel full reins. But I'd be shocked by that.
Some of the stuff, his opening press conference, oh my God. It was brilliant. I love McDaniel's opening presser.
Oh, I've heard it's like I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Oh, it's great because he walks in, he's like, yeah, clothes, they're just something you put on to wear because you got to wear something, right?
I mean, to be fair, that sounds like a Mike McDaniel thing to say. It kind of does.
And,
He just kind of shows up in whatever he's wearing.
I'm not one for opening comments. Let's just get this started.
Yeah, again, that sounds like Mike McDaniel. Like from everything I've heard, like people say, comment on it. It's just, people are like, man, he just sounds tired. He sounds like he was so burnt out by being a head coach for the Dolphins. He just sounds so tired.
The dude, I think he's just like that naturally, though. I think he's just like, whatever.
I do, but like if you see the way, like in comparison to how he head coached, if you look at his press conferences when he was with the Dolphins as a head coach, you can see he tried to put more into it. But now as as an offensive coordinator, he's just like, I don't have to put in that much work.
I
Fuck
don't have
it.
to care anymore.
I don't have to care that hard about
Don't
what
have
you
to
guys
care
think
that
about
hard
me.
anymore. But no, this is definitely an A plus hiring. I think he's going to really. Herbert is going to be a fucking beast this next year in his system.
If Mike McDaniel brings his offense over, yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting time.
Oh yeah. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yep. All right, let's go talk about the Tennessee Titans because, as we know, Robert Saleh became their head coach, and they also brought on as their offensive coordinator Brian Dable. That's also another easy A for me. Not only is Brian Dable, I think, have a good offensive scheme, but he's also a player's guy. Players love him.
Yep.
That's perfect. Bring in a locker room guy.
Yep,
perfect.
100%. Let Saleh coordinate all the defensive stuff and be the daddy of the team, and Dable can be in there and be your weird uncle. That's perfect.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And
he's the fun uncle.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I think we're going to see a huge step forward from their team and from their quarterback, and I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yep, I fully agree with that. Is there any others that are worth note? Oh yeah, that's right. We got to talk about Green Bay Packers. I know there's another one as well.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers do officially hire as their new defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. Again, I think we speculated on that last week. I don't think it was confirmed at that time.
Yeah.
It has now confirmed. I still stand by that. I think that's probably a B minus, like
B plus somewhere.
I think I think when he was the Eagles defensive coordinator, they were great. I think he's a better coordinator than a head coach, at least at this moment. We'll see if he can transition back to being a coach again at some point, or a head coach at some point. But for now, I think defensive coordinator that fits. I think that fits.
I agree a lot. B plus somewhere in there. I think he's a pretty good defensive coordinator. So, we'll have to see how his scheme fits with what they have in Green Bay.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This hiring has been controversial for some. I think it's kind of a good. I think it's a good hiring, and it's one that I did predict very early on, and I'm brought up very early on. Pittsburgh Steelers do hire as their head coach Mike McCarthy, bringing in the hometown boy to be your coach. Um, I actually see this as like probably an A minus B plus territory. Um, I do understand why some of the Steelers fans are potentially upset with it because to them it looks like a lateral move, right? You're bringing in somebody who does well in the regular season and then chokes it in playoffs, or has it at least in the since he's been with the Cowboys. He does has rings. He has made championships with the Packers in the past. I think he's got a very good pedigree, but then you also look at what Mike Tomlin did and you go, well, it feels very similar. And I can
Yes.
understand where you might say that, but their offensive scheming, like the difference is Mike McCarthy is a better offensive schemer in comparison to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin was more of a defensive schemer. So that's going to change. I think you might have a better offense, but we'll see. I
And
think in the long
again, I
run,
think rather
you
than
know,
the problem that I'm seeing with it is that rather than being 9-8 or 10-7, you're going to be like 11-6, 12-5, and you're still going to be out in the first or second round.
potentially. I think they have a higher chance. I think they're going to make the playoffs more often off of better teams, off of better offensive scheming. I think that they have chances of making it further in the playoffs. The problem that they're going to run into is, quite frankly, the AFC is loaded as fuck. Like it just
Yeah,
is.
and we're still
Any
not sure.
team,
Like, he did come out and say that he'd like to get Aaron back for another year. Whether or not Aaron wants to
yeah.
come back for another year is going to be questionable. He has played for
Well,
McCarthy before, so
I,
there's
I was gonna
that
say
connection.
originally Aaron Rodgers said that he was done with the Steelers, which meant that he might come back for somebody else. But that was before Mike McCarthy was hired. Now that McCarthy's there and there is some repertoire there, could could McCarthy convince Rodgers to come back for one final season? Hey, listen, we played together, we won a Super Bowl together, you know, hey, let's try to run it back for one final season. You and me again, right? I could see it. I could see that being a thing.
I could too. That way, maybe
Um,
Rodgers has a really great go out on top year.
yeah, yeah. Like, because McCarthy's, he's a great schemer. He's a great offensive guy. He's gonna push to get the most out of Aaron Rodgers because he knows how Aaron Rodgers likes to play. He already does. So it'd be for him pretty easy to scheme up a good offense for him.
Yep, I
Um,
agree.
so I think, quite frankly, I do believe that it is
Well,
very possible actually
it
that
is
Rodgers
because
comes
he's going to
back.
have to bring in a new OC because the Steelers' offensive coordinator has left the building.
Yeah,
He is
I
now
mean,
the he is now Arthur Smith is now the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State University.
like I texted you back, the 8 ball told him to go back to college, and
Yep.
I don't think he understood what that meant. It didn't mean go back and coach. It meant literally you need to go back to college. I think he misunderstood the eight
I
ball.
think he misunderstood his 8 ball. Yeah.
Um, but that makes sense as well because like Arthur Smith has no reason to be there if Mike McCarthy's going to call the offense anyways.
Yeah,
Like
I agree. But whoever they
so
bring in as an OC, I think it's going to be very interesting.
yeah,
Um,
I think it more matters for him to get a good defensive coordinator than a good offensive coordinator in this case.
and I don't remember if we talked about it. I think we did last week, but Jesse Minter got hired by the
Yeah,
Baltimore
Jesse
Ravens.
Ventura did get hired by the Baltimore. I don't
Uh,
know if it was confirmed at the time, but I think it was.
I think we give that like a B plus somewhere in there. Sound about
I'm
right?
kind of in the same mind. Like I'm just kind of in that same kind of B territory. Like I get it. It's also come out that he is has confirmed he'll be calling the defensive
Yep.
plays, which again makes sense based
Considering
upon where
how
he's come
good,
from.
considering how good the Chargers were in the back half of the season at
Yeah,
that, I agree with it.
yeah. It makes sense. I understand it. Also, so that means by the way, that means the only coaching that we're still waiting on is the Raiders. And the Raiders have confirmed that they have requested a second interview with the Seahawks offensive coordinator,
Clint Kubiak.
um, Clint Kubiak. Yep.
But
So
as we're about to talk about, that's going to have to be put on hold for a little bit.
that will have to be on hold. but the request is there, and my guess is more than likely if Clint wants it, it's probably his job.
I would agree with that because it sounds like that's. It sounds like from what I can tell from Mark Andrews, uh, or Mark Davis, pardon,
Mark Davis, yeah.
Mark Davis. He wants a young, hotshot, offensive-minded person,
Yep.
and so
Yep.
I think the passing game coordinator for the Rams was brought up. Nate
Yep.
Shielhasa and
Yep.
Clint Kubiak was another one that got brought up. Chris Shula's name has been out there as the defensive coordinator. I don't know if he's going or staying. It sounds like he's staying in LA for now. Because really the only other teams that need to hire are, again, the Raiders and the Cardinals, and I don't think he's going to either one of them. With the Bills finally filling their thing and everything else. Oh, that looks like you got news.
Well, it actually happened it literally happened about 30 minutes ago. Joe Brady had his press conference and was doing an interview, or I shouldn't say a press conference, he was doing an interview. And he said, "My job is to allow Josh Allen to be a better version of himself." So it seems like they're really doubling down on it. It's going to be all Josh Allen.
Yeah. You might as well just call them the Buffalo Josh Allens at this point.
Yeah. Literally, he says, and quote, "He is the leader of the organization, and the weight he has on his shoulders is something I can't imagine. Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL, and I have to grow. Part of my growing is that it's going to allow him to be a better version of himself."
What the fuck is wrong with you?
We're not there's nothing he talks about as far as building up a roster that can be good around Josh Allen. No, it's about pushing Josh Allen to be literally mega Superman.
Nope.
What the fuck are we doing, guys?
The Bills are done.
What the fuck are we doing?
The Bills are done. Stick a fork in them, turn them over, it's over.
This is they wanted a fresh start, and that's why I was hired. Oh, fuck off.
That's not a fresh start.
A fresh vision, fresh start. Are you kidding me?
A fresh start would be bringing in someone from outside, dum-dum.
For real.
They wanted continuity and a yes man.
The minute I read that quote, I immediately was like, oh no. I know we already speculated nothing's going to change, but those words alone make it very obvious.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change.
Nothing is going to change. Not at all.
Oh, man.
So bad.
Oof.
Forget about it.
Big oof.
Big oof. But yeah, so we've only got the Raiders and the Cardinals. It looks like the Raiders are hedging towards Kubiak. I don't know where the Cardinals are going from here.
Dude, I don't even okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you exactly, because I can tell you exactly who they've been interviewing. Give me 1 second.
I'm looking it up
here.
right now.
Cardinals, they interviewed Joe Brady, but obviously he's not going to be there. They interviewed Thomas Brown, Patriots passing game coordinator, Anthony Campala, Jaguars defensive coordinator, who's returning to the Jaguars, Jeff Hafley, who got hired by the Dolphins, Vance Joseph, which was the Broncos defensive coordinator, which is completed. They have a scheduled interview with Clint Kubiak, but I don't think they're going to be able to get him because it sounds like the Raiders are really going full in for him. Mike LaFleur, Rams offensive coordinator, and they have a second interview scheduled for him. That might not be terrible. Raheem Morris is scheduled to be interviewed. Matt Nagy they interviewed, which is completed. They wanted to interview Robert Saleh, but he got hired by the Titans. They requested to interview Arthur Smith, even though he's taken a job with Ohio State, so I don't think that's going to happen. And a second interview is scheduled with Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins defensive coordinator.
Also, Ron Rivera.
That's not on my list. surprisingly enough. And this is pretty updated, so I'm surprised it's not on my list.
Apparently, he did interview in person.
Huh, interesting. If it's not on my list, it must means they must means that they've already kind of shoe lined that. Like,
Yeah, it sounds like the way I'm understanding with drawn out Campanile, Brady, and Sala. Upcoming, they've got a second interview with Kubiak apparently this weekend. Um, and
yep.
both Weaver and Morris are finalists, and the front runner is apparently Mike LaFleur.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Which so I will say Mike LaFleur is probably their best option if they want
I
a
agree.
young offensive minded coach.
And
I
he's
don't
also
think that's actually bad.
he's coming out of that McVay tree, so
Yeah, exactly. Like we've already seen that does have some success, typically more often than not.
yep.
So maybe there's something there, but man, I mean, just looking at their options, it was like, wow, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting probably the best you're gonna get out of all the available options now, but I think there were better options before, but they're gone now.
Yep. They are gone
They,
gone now.
they didn't even try to interview Mike McDaniel, which is hilarious. I find that quite funny.
Well, I think they probably realized that he was going to say no. I've already
Probably.
been in one shit organization. I really don't want to go to
I
another right now.
don't. True. That's true. You got me there.
And apparently now it is 100% locked in. The Vikings are, because there is not a head coaching position available
Yep.
for him. The Vikings will be keeping Brian Flores for at least this next
Oh,
upcoming season.
because I was gonna say, because like technically Raiders, Cardinals, but apparently according to the camp of Brian Flores, he was only really interested in the Ravens and Steelers, and when they both got hired, that was pretty much a
Pretty
done deal
much
at that
it. I
point.
don't think he expected the Bills job to pop open, and he might have
It sounds
considered
like he was
that.
never really interested.
I don't think he
Actually,
was
surprisingly
either.
enough.
It sounds
Yeah.
it sounds like he knew what has been apparent, which is that front office is trash,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want
Yeah.
to go to another trash front office.
Yep. And if he also was looking at defenses too, I mean, quite frankly, Steelers and Ravens make a lot of sense. Steelers make sense because, well, they had Mike Tomlin forever. He knows he's going to be treated well at the Steelers. And Ravens, well, same thing. Ravens had Harbaugh there for so
Jim
long,
Harbaugh
so
forever.
he knew that. Again, obviously they treat their coaches fairly well, so that's
Or
why he was
John,
interested in those two
whichever one it was.
organizations.
I think it was
I
John.
think it was John.
Yeah,
Jim's the one in
Jim's the one
with
in
the Chargers.
L.A. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Chargers.
So he was looking at from that standpoint, I think, of how long do they retain their head coaches? Oh, they retain them for a long time. That must mean they really, really trust in the process. I'm willing to go to those two places. Oh, they've already hired their head coaches. Okay, I'm going to stay here then.
Yep, I think that's more or less what happened. I don't know if he'll look at anything in the upcoming go round after next season. We'll have to see.
Well, I mean, from my understanding, the extension was for 3 years. So
Yes, but my understanding is there is an out in the extension that if he gets a head coaching job, it can be terminated.
it can be terminated. I don't think it necessarily will be without some type of payment. My understanding is concerned, but I don't know 100%.
I don't know
I
100%
knew
either.
I knew for this coaching round it was going to be able to be terminated free of charge, but I don't know if that's going to be true of next year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a full-time clause in there or if there's a you're going to have to pay us. And if you get a head coaching gig, he's probably going to be paid more than he would as a coordinator anyway.
Yeah, he probably would
So
be able
I
to
would-
afford it if he really
I would
wanted to. So it's
guess
probably not a
that-
big deal.
Yeah,
but
it's probably not a big deal, but it is a way the Vikings have of trying to, keep
Yeah.
him around.
I just looking at next season. Obviously, it's really hard to say 100%, but I can't imagine there'll be that many good coaching options that'll pop up. Like, if we talk about people that are already on hot seats, right, that could potentially pop open, we're talking like, the Bucks, we're talking
The Bengals.
the Bengals, we're talking. I mean, I'm technically going to throw the Browns in here because you can never trust what the fuck they're going to do.
The Jets.
But the Jets, if they don't want to give Glenn another another year to try it again. They only give him the 2 years, which doesn't again seem fair, but you never know with the Jets.
You never know with the Jets.
Um, but those are like the big four that I can think of. I think everyone else is going to give at least the coach another year after that. Like even if Robert Saleh doesn't have a great time with Tennessee, I don't think they're going to fire him right away unless it's
No,
so abysmal.
no.
I don't. I think John with the Giants is perfectly safe. I think. I don't think the Ravens are going to fire Jesse Minter 1 year in.
No.
I don't think Pittsburgh's going to fire Mike McCarthy 1 year in. I don't like unless the Packers for some reason give up on Matt LaFleur, and then maybe there's that option, but I'm still not sure if they'll do that because again, he's earned so much goodwill. It
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
unlikely. So like again, I'm only going based upon what I'm seeing. Like I don't think the Eagles. I guess technically the Eagles could go with Sirianni. He's kind of in a hot seat. There is that possibility if he fails, that could go. So
I mean,
maybe the
it would
Eagles.
have to be catastrophic failure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Potentially
And
the
then
Eagles.
and then potentially, let's bring up Andy Reid retires.
Andy Reid retires, but it sounds like that's why they brought back Eric Bieniemy.
It does sound like that's why they brought back Bieniemy.
It sounds like they really want him to be their next head coach if Reid goes.
Yeah. In fact, I think that's what's going on there. If I'm going to be completely honest.
I think that's 100% what's happening. I think they probably brought him back for like one maybe 2 more years. Been like, hey, we're guaranteeing you the next head coaching gig when Reid goes. And Reid's probably got maybe 1 or 2 more years left before he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore.
I mean, there really aren't.
Maybe the Texans, but they've been hot and cold enough that I don't see
them
his job being
DeMarco.
DeMarco Ryans. I don't see DeMeco Ryans. Sorry, yeah. I don't see the Cowboys making a change after their fairly decent success, and as long as everything goes well, I don't see Jerry Jones giving up.
Yeah.
And even then, I still don't. I would even if he did fire him, I wouldn't see Brian Flores wanting to go work for Jerry Jones.
No, and the Saints are not giving up on anything.
No, Kellen Moore's actually looked great with now Shook doing well. I think they're going to give him plenty of time.
Yep, I agree.
I think the only one you could maybe look at if it opened up, if he really wanted to, would be the Bucks, and even that'd be the only one. All the others don't sound interesting or sound like good places to go. And the fact that Brian Flores already came from a Florida team, I don't know if he wants to go back.
Yeah, I agree. Again, the Bengals would be the only other one I'd think about just because their offense is so good.
Yeah, that would be the only reason. If you think he can fix that defense, maybe, but I don't know if he wants to go to that organization with the way they've been.
Deal with that organization, no.
Yeah, so
I think we've got him at least for 3 years.
Yeah, because I think he was really interested in the Ravens Steelers, and unless those open back up somehow, I mean, there's very few organizations I can think of that he would be willing to probably go to that would give him time to do what he wants.
The big question then would be, to me, maybe college, a big-time college program comes calling, wants to make him a head coach?
Maybe, but he's also the most paid coordinator supposedly in the league.
Yeah.
Does he want to just give up that money?
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. And then there's the potential, what if KOC bombs out real hard? I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know.
But if it does, yeah, I was going to say, if that is a good point too. If for whatever KOC has another year that's really bad, and then follows it up with another really bad year, do they decide to fire KOC and then promote Flores since he's been there long enough to be head coach? Yeah. I don't think he would turn that down.
I don't think he'd turn it down either. I think that would be a dream for him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's liable to happen. But
I don't think it's likely to happen. I don't think it's likely to happen either. I think this, if you look at all of the seasons KOC has been here, this is easily the worst one we've had. I would be shocked if we see another really bad season, because I feel like he's the type that's like gonna be like, okay, I got my ass kicked. I'm gonna work fucking double time during the off season to make it better next season.
Here's the question.
He feels like that type of coach.
If you're the Vikings, what are you doing to challenge McCarthy?
Well, okay, so I want to make this clear as well. As much as people want to give crap to McCarthy and be like, well, he was only out for the first season and he came back and he still looked bad. Let's not forget, he was injured through the offseason. He never had a training camp. He had a 1-week training camp before coming into preseason. I think you're going to give him a load to work on in the offseason. We already know that he's got a new uh, um, QB trainer. He got a new trainer that's going to help him with his mechanics. We already know that's a thing that's been talked about. Um, I think realistically, I think he will be massively better. And if I remember right, the QB trainer he's got is the same one that Josh Allen had. So there's some that's a good sign actually, in my opinion. Um, with that being said, I think he will have potentially massive improvement. Definitely improvement, but potentially massive improvement. But if you still they have talked about wanting to bring in a veteran in case they need somebody else to jump in there, especially with the fact that McCarthy so far seems like he's been made out of glass. So I can understand. I mean, obviously, the first things you do is you want to beef up that O line, even though they already did that in the offseason. It's clear that there are some pieces that still didn't work out the way that you paid them, unfortunately.
The center,
Um,
Ryan
the
Kelly.
center primarily, I feel bad for that guy, but unfortunately, he was not worth the money that he was
No, he
paid.
was not. He's a massive time All Pro. He's really good at his
Yeah,
job, but just he could not stop getting concussed this year. And I don't know
for
if
whatever
that's
reason. Yeah,
and I don't know if that's because of how the line plays. I don't know if it's how the O line coach wanted him to do things. We know we
yeah,
got
I
rid
don't
of
know.
our O line coach, so
Yeah,
that's something. Uh,
yeah, maybe that's part of the reason why. I don't
we
know.
don't know. So what I'll say is maybe in the draft you are looking for a center, and there are a couple.
There are a couple. Yep.
There's a kid out of
Um,
Iowa. There's the kid from Florida. I believe there's a dude from Miami, maybe.
potentially, yeah. I mean, they have so they have brought up the. I mean, with that being said, they have brought up the fact that they do want to bring in a vet just in case, and it sounds like they do want to keep the undrafted rookie that we had,
Brosmer.
Rosemer. It sounds like they still want to keep him, even though he did not look great. Let's be blunt. He did not look great, but give him an off season. We'll see if he can develop into something potentially, at least a decent third
Backup.
stringer, maybe a backup at some
Yeah.
point after the vet.
Yeah.
But I do think bringing a vet now does make sense.
Yeah.
Now, if we talk about who's available, that's where the question is going to lie. Um, I don't think you bring in a Tua, even though it sounds like he wants to move on. I don't think you bring him in as a backup. I just don't think he would
His
be able.
contract is gigantic.
Contract would be too much. Um, Kyler Murray, people have floated again. I'm not sure that would make sense. I don't
I don't
know
think
what
he
that
wants to be
contract
a
looks like.
backup either.
I don't think he wants to be a backup. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he wants to be a backup anyways. Mac Jones potentially. I think actually if the 49ers move on from Mac Jones, that's actually not a bad option, I think.
I agree.
Um as funny as it is, if the Raiders decide to move off from Geno, I don't think that's a bad option actually.
Not as a veteran
Um
backup, no. I would
as a
I would
veteran backup, I
I
think
would
that'd
be
be
okay
okay.
with that.
If the Giants decide to move on from one of their veterans, I would really not want it to be Russell Wilson, but if you wanted to go for
Jameis?
Jameis Winston, I think that's not a terrible backup option. Um, Funnily enough, I think Justin Fields is actually a fine backup option. As long as
Yes.
you're not asking him to do a lot, I think as a backup he's fine.
As a backup, he's fine.
Um, I believe, funnily enough, Malik Willis is a free agent this year.
Yeah, but somebody's going to give him
Somebody should give him a starter
is
shout
going
out, but
to
if he
they're
does,
going to look at starting money for him.
like honestly, if I'm the Raiders, I'd be like
Maybe.
maybe,
The
or even the
Raiders, the
Cardinals.
Cardinals,
Yeah.
both of them are going to look at him and
Now,
go, even the Dolphins
now
are going to
if
look at him and go,
now if he doesn't go though to one of those guys, I think that'd be a great backup
oh,
for sure.
absolutely.
Especially if you wanted a true competition, right? Because they're both younger guys. Now it's a real competition of who's going to get the starter job.
If you really want to push JJ to
If
be
you want
his
to extra
best.
push them,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be actually a really good option. Um, so I think there's a couple older vets you could pick up for sure as like a protection. But if you really want to push JJ, I think getting one of the younger guys like Mac Jones, Malik Willis, if you really want to splurge out on like somehow get Kyler Murray, but I don't like it, but
I
you
don't
could
like it
if you
either.
wanted to. Davis Mills, oh wait, no, I think Mills actually re-signed already, so he's
I think he
off
did.
the table. He's off the table. Never mind. Um, Justin Fields, another younger guy
Yeah,
you could help really push. Like I think going the younger guy route to really push him is probably the better option.
I agree.
But if you just want a safe option, then like Geno Smith or one of their backups like Kenny Pickett maybe,
Jameis Winston.
or Jameis Famous Winston, yeah, like something like that would be fine as a backup because then you can still get some production, worst case come to worst kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Like if he doesn't take his steps forward, or if he is made out of glass and gets really hurt again,
Get
or
hurt again. That's the big one I'm worried about. Yeah.
yeah. I think he'll take all the steps forward he needs because he looked like he was starting to take those at
Yeah.
the end of the season. Give
Yeah.
him a full off season where he's healthy and everything is good, and he's got this new quarterback coach he's working out. I'm going to give him another chance next year and see how he
Oh,
does.
absolutely. I think he
Um,
deserves one more good year, and then we can start really giving a better rating of like, okay, like for example, if he immediately starts out the next year and looks like hot trash again, man, at that point you might be start going, do we need to start do we need to start looking at another QB? This ain't it. This ain't it.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
He's got to he's I know that's a lot of pressure to put on him, but I think he needs to really prove himself next year or it's going to be like again, the NFL, I get KOC wants to be like, "Hey, organizations fail, the players before the players fail the organization." I get it. But QB is the most important position in the game. You have to be ready to go. If you're not, you're going to get put in for somebody
especially
else who
when you're
was ready to
put
go.
in, especially when you're put into the offense that the Vikings have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I know you want to give him time. And if you don't want to cut him and you want him to still like learn on the bench or whatever, fine. That's totally fine. But like at the end of the day, like at some point you have to be like, okay, he can't be the starter anymore.
Yeah,
Somebody else has to be the starter.
and at some point you also have to look at it and go, yeah, JJ, Justin Jefferson, your window with him is closing.
It's closing fast, yeah. There's gonna be a point where he's gonna get frustrated enough and be like, I don't want to be on the team anymore if you guys aren't gonna get a QB that I can work with.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Like he's the least like I give him a lot of credit because he's the least drama queen of all of the wide receivers. But there will come a point where even he goes, I've had enough. I
Yes,
can't do this anymore.
yes, 100%, and that's
You're
what I'm
wasting
worried
my
about.
prime years,
You're wasting my
Yeah.
prime years with a crap quarterback. Yeah, give me somebody I
Yeah.
can work with or get me out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
let's talk about the championship games so we can tell everybody about the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I guess we can.
One of these games was dull and boring, and the other one was a shootout from all hell.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. So, talk about the dull one first. That was the Patriots at the Broncos. All the points in this game were scored in the first half. That's everything you need to know.
Yeah.
The game ended up being 10-7, and in the second half, the blizzard was so bad you couldn't see the numbers on the field. You couldn't throw the football worth a damn. The Pats literally just decided that the Broncos were never going to score again, and just ran the clock. It was
Pretty much.
it was a boring, sloppy, unwatchable mess of a game.
It was a very boring game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stidham did what he could, but it, as we expected, nothing.
Early on it looked okay, and then after the blizzard started to really pick up, it was pretty much done for him. You could tell he was not comfortable, playing in that weather at that point.
Absolutely not.
Which is funny because that's where he came from, but still,
yeah, no, he absolutely was uncomfortable with it. So yeah, like I said, not much to talk about there. 10-7, boring game, bad
Yep.
play, bad kind of playing conditions.
Yep.
Okay. The other game, the Rams went into Seattle, and boy, did these two teams have a shootout with each other.
They did. They definitely did.
Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, with eventually Seattle and the 12th man coming out on top, 31-27. Um, thing is, Rams had a shot at the end of the game. Stafford hits Puka on a deep pass. Puka tries to get out of bounds, gets taken down inbounds,
It
barely,
sounds that.
and
Yep.
they have no way to stop the clock. Game
Yep.
over. Um, they would have had a shot at the end zone if he'd have gotten out of bounds.
Yeah, if he would have got out of bounds, they would have taken one last shot to the end zone. I don't know if they would have made it, but they would have set him up for at least a potential.
It was a really good game, though. I mean, Stafford
Yeah.
had a pretty good game, all things considered. The Seattle defense played their butts off. Um, for example, Stafford threw for 374 yards and 3 touchdowns. Darnold threw for 346 and 3 touchdowns despite an oblique injury.
Yep.
Nakua had 165 receiving yards and a touchdown. And Jigba had 153 and a touchdown. Nearly identical stat lines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a really, really well played, very close game. These two teams are very close to each other, but in the end, the younger team won, and that's what it came down to. Youth and exuberance overcame old age and treachery in this case.
Yeah. Yeah. I so here's a fun question for you. We were predicting it for a while, right? Um so we were wrong. Stafford didn't manage to make to the Super Bowl and
Did not.
didn't even win it.
Did not.
So does he still decide to retire?
Nope, I think he goes another year now.
You think he goes another
I
year?
think he's going to go another year.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it mostly comes down to that back because I know that like apparently his back's been real fucked up. So if his back isn't that bad, or they found a way to fix it supposedly, where he feels a lot better. I don't know if it was like a really good chiropractor or something or what it was that he did.
Yeah.
But if he managed to get his back in better health and then in the offseason still feels good, I think there's a chance he comes back. But it is going to really come down to how he feels because I know he loves football and everything, but he's got kids, right? Like I assume he doesn't want to blow his back out so bad that he can't, hang
Pick
out
up
and
his
do
kids,
things with his
hang out
kids.
with them, and chill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Throw balls with them. Yeah.
yeah. So that'll be the mainstay. He'll have to have that discussion probably with his wife, I'm sure, and go, okay, do I want to push it one last season again, or am I finally going, I'm starting to really feel old. I guess I can feel it in my joints. Maybe it's time to call it. I don't know. We'll
We'll
see.
have to see.
I'm kind of 50-50. I think if, like I said, I think if he made the Super Bowl, he more likely retires.
Oh yeah,
But the
100%.
fact he didn't make it, I think there's a better chance now that he decides, you know what,
Yeah,
I'll
one
stick
more
it around
year.
for another season. One more year. This time we'll do it for sure.
Yep.
To be fair, this team almost in any other circumstances against almost any other team probably wins and goes
Oh,
to the Super Bowl.
absolutely.
So like
Any other of those teams, like had Seattle lost last week to the Niners,
yeah.
the Rams
Yeah.
are gonna kill the Niners.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like there's just so many options there. They just unfortunately went up against another really good team in their own division. Like I mean last year the Seahawks weren't good or that good. So I'm saying almost if they performed this way in almost any other year, we would be talking, potentially Super Bowl, but unfortunately Seahawks just come out fucking slapping people this year.
Oh yeah,
And
Seahawks were
honestly,
good this year.
if you're gonna ask me now, like Seahawks or Patriots in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm picking Seahawks. As much as I think the Patriots had a chance, I think against the Seahawks, I think they have no chance. Yeah,
I agree with you, 100% that I think the Seahawks are just gonna kill the Patriots. Um, look, Patriots have played very well this year, very well, right?
mm. Yeah. Sorry, I was watching. Boy got dropped off.
Okay, making
I was
sure
trying to
he's
figure out
okay.
what that. Yeah, I'm watching him from my window. Oh, he's grabbing the trash cans. He didn't have to do that. Nice.
He's a very polite young man.
He can be. He has good days and bad days, just like any kid.
Yep.
I would say more often than not, he has good days.
Yeah. From what I noticed when I met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
At any rate, no, I agree. I think the Seahawks are absolutely going to crush the Patriots. And it's the ultimate Sam Darnold redemption story, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
it really is.
busted,
I mean, I'm
busted,
sure.
absolute bust in the Jets organization.
Yeah,
Started okay with the Panthers and then didn't do great and got released. Played with
yep.
the Niners a little bit as a backup. Um,
Did pretty good there.
did okay as a backup there. Good enough that he earned a chance in Minnesota against the rookie McCarthy. McCarthy gets hurt. Darnold plays the whole season, wins a fuckload of games, and then blows it in the playoffs. So gets slapped
Hmm.
with the, okay, might be a good regular season quarterback, but can't play a big game quarterback. And this year he's totally shed that label, and it's like, oh no, he's a really great quarterback. It's just
Yeah,
the Jets were a really terrible organization.
yeah. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where you look and you go, man, this is the guy that they predicted was coming out of college.
Yeah, this is what they
Yeah.
thought they were getting. Well, if you were not bad, Jets, this is probably what you would have got. But you were really bad.
They were really bad.
They still are really bad.
Yeah, they're worse than I'm gonna be that guy. They're worse now than when Robert Saleh was their head coach. Just saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
saying.
But, Aaron Glenn's only had a year, so you got to give him another one just to be fair.
It's true, but I'm gonna be honest. Even the first year Robert Saleh was there was better than this year. I'm just saying. Just saying. Granted, you could argue they didn't have a quarterback, so we'll see. We'll see how that
Still don't
goes for
think they're
them.
going to have one.
I mean, they're going. I mean, they're high enough up where they're gonna get one.
I don't think you should draft one there because I think there's only one quarterback that should be drafted that high, but
I agree. I mean, we know who's probably going to draft him.
the Raiders should take him. Whether or not they do is
I would be shocked, especially if I'll put it this way: if they do get Clint Kubiak as their head coach, there is pretty much zero chance they don't get Mendoza.
I would agree. I would agree with that 100%. The Jets probably want to take Ty Simpson at that point from Alabama, but I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I would wait and draft somebody in the second or third round if I were them.
maybe. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would argue that some of those second rounders have been proven to have potential. I mean, Shook looked fine.
Yeah, yeah.
He looked like a fine. Like, would I say is Shook a superstar? Fuck no. Is Shook even a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Yeah, I'm not sure about that at the moment, but I would say he's definitely a competent starter.
Yeah, and you know what? I can say the same thing about a lot of the guys that fell off this year from college. They just had bad years
Yeah.
and got injured. Newsmeyer's among them. I think he'll be a
Yeah.
competent starter. I think Drew Aller will be a competent but not stellar player in the league. I think the kid from Clemson will be a competent but not stellar quarterback in the league. I even think Miller Moss out of friggin' Louisville will be a competent but never star player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a
I think
lot
the
of
only.
guys who I think fit that mold.
I mean, honestly, if comparing the last years, if we're gonna be honest with you, like I think Cam Ward will be, but he's shown that he can be something special. I think if you give him some time with a better line and give him something to work with, I think he could be a really really good. But even Jackson Dart, people thought the Giants reached for him, but he looks like he will be great. Like it's funny how much if you look at people's draft grades of him being like, oh, he's mostly a pocket passer, he's a thrower, he can't really run too much, and I'm like, excuse you?
Like, I watched him run in college, and I went, no, he can run. He
I know
shouldn't
you and
be
I were
running
like,
because he's tiny, but he can
yeah, but
run.
you and I immediately were like, no, that guy's going to be an elusive runner if he really wants to be. He's going to be a dual threat.
The
And
problem is
geez, shocker, we're right again.
The problem is he tries to run like he's Josh Allen sometimes, and you're not Josh Allen, bud.
Yeah, you can't bulldoze through people.
He tries to though, which just gives you
Yeah,
his gusto. But no, you need to learn to be more elusive, buddy.
you probably should. But
You stop taking tips from Scataboo.
now I think he is. Now to be fair, for New York, that's the exact type of quarterback they want, though.
Yeah,
Somebody who's gonna like just let go. No, I'm stronger than you. Oh! Like they
it
love that
fits
shit.
the Giants perfectly. Like I don't
Yeah,
think there's a better scenario for Jackson Dart than being the Giants
yeah,
QB right now because
yeah,
he exemplifies the attitude of the city, which is all they want. They don't
yeah,
want a namby-pamby guy. They want one of these grit and grind guys.
yeah. Exactly. I
Exactly.
think they got the exact guy they wanted, both when it comes to running back and quarterback. They got some good wide receivers. I just don't see. I'll put it this way: I don't see a way in that how in a way that that offense doesn't look great next season, and without injuries being involved.
Yeah. If there are limited injuries to that team, I don't see how they don't end up in the top 2 of their division,
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
especially with the
I
new
agree with that.
coach, John. No.
Yeah,
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 100%. I don't think there's going to be a transition period for the Giants.
yeah. I think that we're going to go straight into a red hot season. Honestly, I
Yep.
really do think that. I think the Commanders getting back Jaden. I think if they build out a decent draft, they're probably looking at fighting for top 2 along with the Eagles. I think the Cowboys. Listen, they're not a bad football team, but in their division, it's going to be really tough.
They're also getting older at key positions, and they need to.
Yeah, yeah, that's my point. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they have the wide receivers. They even have an okay quarterback
Well,
situation.
Pickett is.
Okay,
Hold on. Pickett is a free agent this year.
yeah, but let's be honest, they're definitely going to sign him to a buco
Or
bucks. Like
Pickens,
there's
pardon.
Pickens, yeah. They're
Pickens is
gonna.
a free agent. They should
I would
sign
be
him.
I would be shocked if they let him go. Like I would be let him walk anywhere else
I
without
would
paying him a bunch of money.
legitimately be blown away if they did.
Yeah, Jerry. Like don't get me wrong, Jerry Jones is kind of like a weird, shrewd negotiator, but I have a hard time believing he wouldn't be like, "All right, you did as good as CD Lamb. That means I should probably throw you money."
If he
So
doesn't, I'm going to like. I mean, it backfired on him with obviously with Parsons.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah,
if he's learned from that, Pickens will get a big deal. If he
yeah.
hasn't, Pickens is going somewhere else.
I don't know where he would go, to be honest.
There's a couple of places that I think would would throw big time money at him. Tennessee. Um,
They need somebody, but I don't think I don't know if he'd want to go there.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting if he did. San Francisco, because they're going to need to replenish their wide receiver
Yeah,
room.
49ers need somebody. I could see that.
49ers
Yeah.
would need someone. Steelers, well, he was already there, so they got rid
He
of
was
him.
already there. That's not going to
That's
happen.
not going to
Yeah.
happen. No, that's not going to happen. New Orleans,
That's a possibility. I'm not sure, but it's
Jacksonville,
possible. Yeah, that's a possible one too.
Las
Now that
Vegas.
they've had a better chance. I think the Raiders one's unlikely just because like again, the team is so like wishy-washy even now where it's like you don't know exactly if it's going to be worth your time to go there.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if you get a chance to play with the Heisman Doza and the new coach and everything else,
Maybe.
there's a chance that he decides
There's
that
a
that's
chance.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a few places that I think he fits that would be interesting for him that he would appreciate being at.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm just trying to think like that's what I'm saying. Like there's only so many teams like maybe the Ravens, but I don't know how their salary cap looks where they could even afford him or not.
And if the Eagles decide to trade off AJ Brown, there's a chance there.
Yeah, yeah, but then where does AJ go?
Well, rumors currently have the Bills as a prime player for AJ Brown.
I could see it. Who that would be interesting for the Bills if they end up getting AJ Brown and then going and picking up Pickens.
Yeah,
Then at that point, I would then say, okay, now Josh Allen's got talent enough around him where he doesn't have to play amazing all the time.
yeah.
And then
100%.
that actually opens it up. But then that means the Bills organization as a unit would have to admit that Sean McDermott was fucking right in the first place, and they just fired him out of pettiness.
Yeah, which they're not going to do.
They're not gonna, so I don't know if they'll do that.
But if the Eagles trade them Brown and then the Eagles grab Pickens, that's a
Yeah.
potentiality.
That's potential. But what would
I don't know
Bills
what the package
give up
I don't
for
know
it?
what the package
Yeah.
would be. That's the
Would they
problem.
have to give him a first rounder? If they had to give him a first rounder, I don't think it makes sense.
I think they would have to give up a first rounder for somebody like AJ
I know.
Brown.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it makes sense for him. At that point, just go pay Pickens.
Yeah, at that
Just bring
point,
him in
just grab
straight up.
Pickens. Yeah, if Pickens
then
is
you
on
can
the
keep your
market,
first
just
round pick.
pay Pickens and keep your first
Yeah.
round pick. Yeah,
And he's younger too. No offense to AJ Brown,
no,
but Pickens is younger. Now, granted, the biggest problem you have with Pickens is boy's got an attitude. So, but granted, I would also argue AJ Brown's got an attitude. So
the three big receivers I think that are available, 2 through trade, and 1 obviously free agency, all have attitude issues.
what's the other one
Addison?
for trade? Oh, Addison. I actually, if you were to ask me, I would say Addison has the least attitude, at least on the field. He's got off the field attitude.
That's what I meant. He doesn't have. He doesn't. He's not a locker room cancer. He just stop doing
getting arrested.
Yeah, stop doing boneheaded things off the field.
I think that's pretty. Honestly, I would rather have that though over the guys that try to showboat and start talking shit in the middle of games.
Yeah.
Addison at least stays fairly calm in the games.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. Well,
like I said, I think Addison might, because we're getting to the point where we're going to have to exercise his option after next season, and we're not going to be able to pay him.
No, not along with JJ and anybody else that we have still, like TJ.
No,
well, actually, there's been rumors we might trade TJ.
Yep, and again,
which I can understand because his contract's kind of expensive. He hasn't produced nearly as much as he should have. On this contract.
Firmly agree.
And we already got a tight end that's a second tight end that's been playing fine.
Johnny Munt.
Yeah. So
yeah.
No offense to Hawkinson, maybe you're just kind of past your prime now, and maybe it's time to move on.
Maybe it's time for us to find a buyer for you. I don't disagree with that in the slightest. There are teams that could absolutely use him. That have the cap space. The Titans, the Giants.
The Giants, even if they want a tight end, they don't got one right now.
Yeah. The Jags.
Funnily enough, our last tight end we had went to the Giants, so I mean, why not? Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. The Jags. I'd take a second. I'd take
Jags,
a second or a third for Hawk. Sure.
Yeah, a second rounder would be good. I think second rounder would make sense. But if you're worried about it, I could see a third,
maybe
2 thirds or something like that.
Maybe like a third this year and a third next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I'd do that. Or a third this year and a fourth next year. I'm happy with that.
Something like that.
Somewhere in that range. Yeah, do that. I'd take that because then that contract is off our books and that gives us cap flexibility, which is what you're
so if we really want, and if Kelly doesn't stick around for whatever reason,
retires or something.
Yeah, I mean there are ways where we could actually afford to keep Addison if we really wanted to, and I think that's why they're looking at flexing some of these other guys that are like kind of older. They might not stick around. They might, because then if we flex them out and we really want Addison, then we'll have the money. But if we don't want Addison, then we'll have even more cap space to go for somebody else if we really want to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, if you look at it, I think Dirty Harrison Smith is retiring.
He has still not said anything, but the Vikings organization, the players, everyone around him, pretty much everyone around him has confirmed that it seems like he's not coming back.
Yeah, CJ Ham,
all but himself.
CJ Ham is on that list as well. We know Thielen finally did say that he's retired.
Thielen did. He's retired. Yeah, he's done. I think Thielen and Dirty Harry will probably end up in our our ring of honor.
I think Dirty Harry might actually end up in Canton.
I could see it. Absolutely, I could see it.
He's played long enough and he's had enough stats that I think.
Would he be first ballot?
No. I think
probably not.
Second or third.
Not. But yeah, I was gonna say probably not. But he definitely, if you look at his numbers, they're good numbers. They're very good
He's
numbers.
one shy of what, the 30-30 club?
Yeah. Yeah.
He got
Like
one pick shy of that. He's got like 29 picks and 30 sacks.
which is probably like the only reason he hasn't outright said he's retiring, because there might be a chance he might be like, man, I want to come back for the one more season. I want to get that fucking 30th. Like, he might actually push for it, but I don't think he will. I think it sounds like he's probably
Yeah,
done.
I think he's probably done. CJ Ham is probably done.
Hey, CJ Ham's been around for a while. I mean, he is definitely. I mean, listen, he had what, almost a decade with us, over a decade, I think,
Yes.
actually, with us.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's probably like, okay. Like, and
Honest.
fullbacks have been going out of style for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
just
Sadly, true. There are very few of them left. That.
instead you get the dual tandem halfbacks now instead.
Yep. Yep.
That's kind of taken up that spot, you know.
Exactly. You'll get the bruising halfback and the quick halfback.
Than the elusive one. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, it's been slowly
Unfortunately.
going away. The fullbacks have been slowly going away. There are very few left. Jushevik, one of
Yep.
the few that's actually left.
Yep.
I wondered with the tush push, if they weren't going to make a small comeback, because you can push a guy like that from behind and he's the big bruiser.
You would think so, but they haven't really done that.
No,
so.
they've used tight ends in that situation more
Yeah.
often than not. Just
The big tight ends, yep.
Big, lanky, big, bulky tight end that you could push.
Or you also
behind.
get more length, yeah.
Yeah.
And he can reach over for in those situations, and you
Yep.
get longer arms typically. So
Yep.
I get that.
So, yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, so I think CJ Ham is probably going. I can't think of too many other people that might. You know, we're going to see if other guys, because there are other guys that have played forever that, you know, is Levante David going to be done? Is Keenan Allen going to be done?
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
There's a couple of guys that you just go, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah, but you never know. More, unfortunately, most players don't decide themselves when they retire. Something happens to them, and then they retire. But if you are lucky enough to be one of those players that gets to decide when you retire, that means you had a pretty good career.
Yes.
In my opinion.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Outside of that, I did see one other little thing that I wanted to bring up because it's, you know, something that probably should be. There are some guys that retire because they're on one team for so long and that team is no good and just trash and terrible, no matter how many stats they put up. And in this case, I'm talking about Megatron. He could feel his body starting to go. Couldn't play at the level that he felt he should. However, somebody actually asked him in an interview. They said, you know, if you had been winning and you felt like that, you think you could have got another couple of seasons? He goes, oh, yeah. If we were winning, I probably could have made another couple of seasons. But the constant losing wears on your mental psyche as much as it does your physical body. And
oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
It's, you know, when your mental state starts to get to the point of, why am I doing this? It's time to go.
Yeah, I'm not. It's basically I'm getting the physical wear and tear, but getting nothing in return out of it. Like, it's a trade-off, right?
Exactly.
I'm not getting the reward that I got out of it that I was getting before.
Yep.
So it makes no sense to continue, because all I'm going to do is continue fucking up my body with nothing to show for it.
100%.
I get it. No, I get it. I get it.
Calvin did make the Hall of Fame, so got something out
of it.
Yeah. Never got a ring. Very, very sad that he didn't get a ring. Should have.
It's no different than Barry Sanders, if you ask me. So yeah.
Randy Moss.
Right. No, he got one with the Patriots. I thought they got one when he was there. I could have sworn
the Patriots had a perfect season and then lost.
They lose? Did they lose? Is that the one that they lost on?
To the Giants.
Oh man, is it that one really?
It's that one.
Oh my god.
One of those two, because they lost 2 to the Giants.
That's shitty. I could have sworn that was the year after that he was still on the roster when they run, but maybe he wasn't.
I don't think
he must not have been.
One.
He must not have ever been on the team when they actually won that.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Yep. As good as he was, never got a ring.
That is absurd. Yeah, yeah. He played in 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots. Both both losses. Yeah. Wow. And both were with the 49ers. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me?
Huh?
Says he played in 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots. Oh, and with the sorry, one with the Patriots and one with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Apologies. He was technically on the 49ers rosters when they went, but he lost that one too. Jesus. That's ridiculous. That what was that one with the 49ers? That one was 49ers to the Ravens and they lost 34-31. And that was the Harbaugh Super Bowl. That was the Harbaugh Super
That was
Bowl.
the Harbaugh Bowl.
Oh, oh man. And yeah, he was on that one and he lost by a field goal. Jesus. He came
And
close twice.
he went to the Niners specifically to try to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, because it was his final year. He knew it was going to be his final year because that was the year he retired was after that. So he went for one final year to try to win a Super Bowl and still didn't win the Super Bowl. Fucking hell, dude. That's god damn. And the previous one that he was at was 17-14, another field goal loss. Jesus.
You want to know the guy who there are two guys who could be considered the worst player to have the most rings.
Oh, probably one of them's probably on the Patriots, I imagine.
Nope.
Really? Because I would imagine being on the Patriots with how many rings they won would have garnered somebody getting rings that probably isn't good enough to get rings. Because that would not be shocking. If we're talking about one-time ring performances, there are some backup quarterbacks.
There are two guys that have 4 rings that you've probably never heard of. One of them became a coach.
That's hilarious, but I'm not shocked by that.
I believe
they're probably on good teams, I assume.
I believe
right?
he even coached the Lions. Or no, he was a GM for the Lions, and he's considered one of the worst GMs of all time.
They played on good teams, though, I imagine. That's probably why, right?
One of them played with the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers.
That makes sense, yeah.
Walked away with 4 rings.
Yeah, that makes sense.
His name was Randy Grossman, and he was a tight end.
Grossman, yeah.
Over 8 years,
I heard of him.
Over 8 years, he had only 119 receptions, yet he has 4 rings, which is as many as Montana or Terry Bradshaw.
Yep.
The other one you've heard of. You ready for him?
Well, I knew Grossman, so I mean...
Matt Millen.
No, that name actually does not sound that familiar to me.
He was the Lions GM back when they were 0-16.
Really? See, I didn't know. I knew who their coach was. I didn't know who their GM was.
He won 4 rings with 3 different teams. He was a linebacker: Raiders, Niners, and Commanders.
The Commanders is the weird one on there for me, but okay.
Well,
Raiders and Niners, I could understand.
Back when they were the Skins, and they were really good with like Joe Theismann and
I was gonna say they had
Diesel.
Yeah.
Back when they had Hall of Fame.
It's still
guys.
weird to hear them because they haven't been good since what the mid-90s.
The modern example is a guy that you may have heard of, Ken John Barner.
The name sounds familiar.
He has 3 rings. He's basically a backup running back and a returner. He won rings with the Eagles in Super Bowl 52, the Patriots in 53, and the Buccaneers in 55.
I mean, the thing is, as much as that's funny to me, when a team wins a Super Bowl, everyone that's on that team gets one. So, I mean, there's inevitably going to be players that you look at and you go, really? You got a Super Bowl win? But then you realize, how much did you really do in that Super Bowl win, though?
The other one that's funny is Rohan Davey.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
He has 0 passing touchdowns. And he was Tom Brady's backup in 2003 and 2004.
Yep, I was gonna say, yeah.
So there was a Pat Shy on that list. He's got more rings than Dan Marino with like no passes in the NFL.
It just goes to show that just because you have a ring doesn't necessarily mean you were good.
Exactly.
Your
That's
team was good.
that's the joke of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
While often
Rings.
a ring is the, you should get a ring to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, but then you could put Rohan Davey in.
Yeah. I think it's more of the rings are like an additive. Like, look at all of his stats. And he also got this many rings.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because he was obviously a proponent in getting those rings. But if you just look at it purely on rings alone, then you go, well, hold on now, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I wanted to look that up. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, Randy
I don't
Moss,
think you need
no
to have a
rings.
ring to go in. That would make no sense.
Randy Moss, no
We've seen
rings.
so many good players, like, yeah, Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, Megatron. We've seen so many really good players not get rings that
Dan Marino.
are definitely Hall of Fame. Dan Marino, that are definitely Hall of Fame, players for sure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's a Travis, Adrian Peterson, even.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he probably should have won one. To be fair, that's with somebody. But granted, after everything that happened, I mean, he fell off pretty hard.
He did. He did. He never really got it back with. I think he played for the Cardinals and the Commanders.
Definitely the Cardinals. I don't remember where he went after that. It might have been the Commanders.
But he never really got his chutzpah back.
No, after that suspension that he had, it was just
downhill from there. Yep, just straight downhill from there.
He had basically 4 really good years, and that was about it. But man, they were like
5 or 6.
Was it 5 or 6? Either way, it was like lightning in a bottle for those 5-ish years.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious.
I mean, you're probably right, because I do remember he did get a contract extension, so it was probably 5 to 6 years. But definitely like lightning in a bottle for a pretty short period of time for even players.
Hold on, he played in Minnesota from 2007 till 2016. However, 14 and 16, he didn't play a lot. I think one of those years he got hurt and the other one he got suspended. And then in 17 he played for New Orleans and Arizona.
So about 7-ish years.
So if you look from 2007 to about 2018, he was, and then he had one more. So yeah, like 7 years, he was super special.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,300 yards, 1,700, 1,300, 1,200, 970, but he only played 12 games in 2011 because he got hurt. He still had friggin' 12 touchdowns and 900 yards, almost 1,000 yards. Yeah. Came back the next year, 2,097 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really good. The problem is the Vikings at that time were really bad without him.
Yeah.
Like, they had nothing else besides, okay, give the ball to Adrian Peterson.
Pretty much. We didn't really have a quarterback at the time.
We didn't really have a quarterback. We didn't really have any wide receivers that I would argue were good.
I mean, let's look at his 2012 year. I'm just curious to see what
wasn't that. Vikings... I'm pretty sure Christian Ponder was still on the roster at that point, right?
I'm about to find out. 2012 Minnesota Vikings. Yep, Christian Ponder was our quarterback. 62% completion rating, 2,935 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 picks.
Yep, he threw a lot of picks.
He did. We had Percy Harvin.
He was hit and miss, though, because he missed a lot of games.
When he was playing, he was on fire. When he was out, he was, yeah. We had Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, but, I mean, that was pretty much the only tight end that we had, and he was only good in the red zone. He was never a good runner down the field.
He was not a runner down the field. Absolutely not. Yeah, we really didn't have much beyond that. Michael Jenkins that year, and I'm like, how many receiving yards did he have? 500?
Yeah.
Like, Harvin only had 677.
How many games did he play, though?
9.
Yeah, see, he didn't even play all the games.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Adrian Peterson was the team that year in
Mm-hmm.
2012. So if you look at it, you go, if the Vikings had ever bothered to put anything around Peterson,
Yeah.
we'd have been really good.
Yeah. They were willing to spend for, maybe a slightly better quarterback and maybe a one wide receiver and maybe a slightly better O-line. We'd be talking a different tune, but they never did.
Never. Just, well, it's the same thing that's going on right now in Buffalo.
Yeah. Pretty much. Why did you do that, bird? Oh, I'm gonna have to clean that now. Fucking hell. All right. Well, he smudged up all on my glasses.
He did it because he's a pain in the booty.
No, he wanted to cuddle, but when I'm wearing glasses, it makes it really hard. It is what it is.
Yep. Anyway, I don't think I have much else. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm pretty good.
Yep, I'm pretty good too. I think we're gonna cut it off here, guys. We hope that you come back next week and view us, because, like I said, next week we're gonna go over and break down the stats from the rookie draft this last year. I'm just about done finding all of those. I think that's gonna be fun. I think that's gonna be interesting. I think we're going to enjoy ourselves. Outside of that, we're gonna say, if you like what we do here, please give us a like. Give us a subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell icon. Let us know you appreciate what we're doing here. We believe in you. If you put your mind to it, we know you can accomplish it. I'm accomplishing college. So if I can accomplish college, you can accomplish anything. We're going to tell you, you know what? Until next week, stay bearded.